WWE, Mr. Black. So, in the last, as a brief recap, I think 6 or 7 months ago now, Mr. Vince McMahon stepped down from the company. You know, he is the ripe old age of, 109, still on steroids, bigger than a house. But he stepped down because there was just a wave of sexual harassment and other similar cases that just came flying at him from all angles with a lot of receipts. Including receipts that he paid these women off, and not small amounts of money. Like, we're talking millions over the years as hush money. And so a bunch of that was coming through. It wasn't helping the company, clearly. And with Hunter, Triple H, who was already basically running a lot of the show anyway at that point, Vince said, deuces, I'm the fuck out of here. And has been gone ever since. Now, this week, however, in the span of what was like basically just hours, it was announced that Vince McMahon is back as CEO. Following that, Vince's daughter Stephanie McMahon stepped down from her position. So dad came back, daughter said no, she leaves the company, puts out her little resignation note and thanks everyone for everything and all, thanks for the memories, .mp3. And then on top of that, I'm pretty sure it was confirmed now, but even before that, all this happened where the rumors immediately kicked up that Vince came back as CEO more or less long enough to sell to the Saudis. so in like the span of a couple hours, Vince is back, Stephanie's gone, Triple H is demoted to COO, Vince sells the company to the Saudis, and everyone's heads are like fucking spinning. And nobody knows what the fuck, like how like it's just super quick.
I think that's the play. I mean,
I think for WWE, because who else is going to buy the WWE? Let's be honest.
Nobody anymore.
Yeah.
Or at least at a valuation that like they would comfortable with, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is rumored, right? So this isn't even like from what, unless it's changed today, but like the rumor is they're selling to the Saudis. And Vince needed to come in to basically make this happen.
Facilitate it.
Yeah. Who knows? We'll see. There's some backlash because of like, I don't want to get too political here, but like, the way women are treated.
It's the source of the money and stuff that people go,
the source of the money, where the money came from, what's going to happen to the women's side of WWE.
It's the same with like Live Golf and like there's been, because the Saudis have bought a few or bought their way into a few major arenas, and so this is another one.
So like, is there still going to be a women's division? You know what I mean?
Like, I never even thought about that, to be honest. I never
huge.
even.
That's massive, and like the women's side of things in WWE is huge.
It's like, not what it used to be. It's not just brawn panty matches with Trish Stratus anymore.
Well, that's it. Before they were just like straight up literal sex symbols that like were used and abused on national TV. Now they're sex symbols, but like Saudi is like, not here. It ain't happening here. At least that's what I'm gathering, and what from and what people are concerned about. So if this actually happens, AEW is probably going to pop off big time for women's wrestling, and maybe even just wrestling in general. It's not that AEW is small, but like this might actually be the green light for them to go. How many wrestlers are going to say, okay, fuck WWE now, I don't want to be out there? They might get paid a lot more though. Like that's the thing.
Well,
like
that's like Live Golf. A lot of people were like, "All right, where does everyone fall?" And some people that nobody would have ever guessed to take that money, like Phil Mickelson.
Oh yeah,
nobody had Phil Mickelson on the bingo card for "We'll take Saudi money to go play golf there." And he ended up being one of the people to go. Yeah. And like, so I'm sure
Tiger Woods an insane amount of money. It was
they offered him $900 million.
$1 billion for like a year or some shit. It was like,
and he just said, nah.
No, he said, bro, I'm already a billionaire, bro. I'm Tiger Woods.
My name's already. I literally spent the last decade getting my name out of the fucking mud.
Yeah.
I don't need another reason, even for $900 million. I'm about to play golf with my son. Let's just fucking leave that shit alone.
No. Yeah. He's already got so much fuck you money that like it doesn't matter. And his son is just like swimming in money as well. So it's like, by the time he's 18 years old, that motherfucker's gonna be a billionaire or damn near close to it anyway. You know what I mean?
Regardless of whether or not he's like he's a good golfer, but he's not like his dad. He's not his dad's level. But all he needs to be is like he wins a tournament now and then. He's gonna be fucking just.
I don't even think he really even needs to do that. I just think he needs to be playing golf,
and be Tiger Woods' son,
and be Tiger Woods' son. If Tiger Woods is his caddy for like,
oh my god, I never even considered that as an option.
Just think, and you know he's gonna be like, just think about that. His father is coaching his son, and they're out there, and Tiger can't play anymore. But now he's out there coaching his son. Like, bro, that ratings in itself.
That's like the LeBron James and his son situation, where LeBron's like, I gotta stay here until I can play with my son in the NBA. Which, low key, even though I'm not a big James fan, it's pretty fire.
It's pretty dope, man.
It's pretty dope.
And he's like got all the power in the world to do it, right? Like,
if anyone can pull it off.
He prints money for whatever team he's on. So it's like, even if he's half the player of what he is in his prime, and his son is on the same team,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. And let's be real, half of LeBron is still better than a lot of the people that are in the NBA.
Yes.
So he'll be just fine. He'll be competitive enough. You know what I mean? He might not be fucking scoring fucking 40 every game, but holy shit, the guy obviously is
dude, the way the NBA is right now, he might well score 40 points a game.
He might actually do it. So same thing with Tiger and his son. I guarantee it, man. When Tiger is done, he will be if he's not the caddy, he will be at the golf course with his son.
Bro, that's already driving people crazy, because all of the narrative even though Tiger hasn't been like a legitimate threat for years on the tour, if he's playing, the whole narrative for the television broadcast is Tiger Woods. Nobody else fucking matters. And then when Tiger and his kid go out,
same thing.
That's
all everybody talks about. And
That's
Charlie, his son, will have the same aura. It might not be like as grandiose, but if he's good and he actually starts winning,
that's going to be
holy. He'll pick up the mantle. He'll make $1 billion himself, not even daddy's money,
and hopefully not make the same mistake his dad made. Keep that shit straight and narrow.
Don't stick your dick in a bunch of porn stars and everything else and get hammered and fucking drive your cars and stuff. But you know, when you grow up and you're super rich and all you do is play golf and you've got some vices and you need an outlet, you know, let's hope the son doesn't go down the same route as
So anyway, WWE, same thing though, and like it's the money, where it's coming from. People are sketchy. Of course, the women's division, clearly, I never even thought about that, because when I thought about them buying it, I thought about it in the sense that they were buying it as an investment thing, and not as come in and just and manage the whole thing, but them buying it to just have it, and then bring the event there, and then when the event is in their region, clearly play by their region's rules, and then everywhere else leave it alone. Because I have to imagine if they're going to spend all this money to buy out WWE, they have to understand that everywhere else in the world, pretty much except for their neck of the woods, is heavily invested in a women's division. And so to pull that out and change it dramatically,
I don't think they give a fuck, bro.
I mean, you might not be wrong. I'm just trying to like logic it out.
They have some next level money.
Oh, I know.
They're talking. You think, we think Elon Musk is the richest person on the planet. I'm sure there's people in Saudi that got as much, if not more money, and you just don't know about it.
I think
money.
I think Elon Musk has the most net worth. I think they have the most free cash on hand.
There you go.
I think that's the difference.
There you go. You probably are right. You probably are right.
There's the guys that are like, I'm going to just buy shit today because I have infinite cash.
And we're not talking one person. Like,
it's a lot of people.
There are many. Like many. So like for them, it's like, bro, money cannot compromise our values, period. We're buying this shit because we just like wrestling, and that's like, I saw this video, funny enough, I think it was an Andrew Tate video, that I saw on a,
well, probably it's why not?
I don't even know where he was. I don't know if he was in Dubai or I don't know exactly where he was.
He was in the UAE somewhere.
He was somewhere, and this guy had a vault in his like, and we're talking. I'm not talking like a regular bank vault. Like it was like the size of this wall, and it was this metal fucking huge door. And they open up this door and they go inside, and it's all it is just a nerd fest of comic books and stuff. And the guy goes like, "This is my Bugatti," and there it was like Superman volume. It was like Superman print 1. It was like the one of one. He's like, "This is $5 million. This is my Bugatti," and I'm like, "Bro, how much?" And it was just like one thing. It was like a shrine of fucking stuff all over the place, and
so much of that isn't like new money. So much of that is just like this is third generation oil baron, like was born rich. Hasn't known anything but just whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
you have
it's crazy. They there is this guy as well in UFC. Actually, that was a Russian. There's this Russian guy that would go to these UFC fighters, and he loves UFC. He's like a huge MMA guy, but like people know he's kind of like he's seen and done some shit. Some Russian.
If you're a wealthy Russian, you have definitely seen and done some shit.
And apparently he flies out athletes and pays them fucking insane money.
For private fights?
Not fights, but like they'll go and train with him and hang out. Like just like, yeah, just come on over. And apparently this Russian guy is like, he fights as well, and he's like
okay. I thought you were about to tell me there was like Russian blood sport going on, and they were coming up with some like their private.
Who knows? Maybe. Who knows? But like, I just can't see the Saudis. And once again, guys, this is all speculative. Like we don't even know
if they bought it yet.
But it seems makes sense.
Highly likely.
I think if they do buy it, there's not going to be. I think for the wrestlers, I think for the women's wrestling, who knows? Like that might actually just be gone, like straight up, or completely different. Like
in which case, like you say, Tony Khan at AEW is like,
oh yeah, oh for sure. But the wrestlers, they might no longer have to do the traveling, right? Getting on a fucking tour bus, going from state to state to state to state to state. They might just have to fly out there, do some big events. Maybe it's only pay-per-view. Maybe they still do like a one show a week or something. And it could be a big deal for the wrestlers. It might actually give them a life again. It might not be as crazy, and they're going to get paid more. Like, especially the stars. Imagine out in Saudi, like bringing in John Cena or Brock Lesnar or The Rock.
Do you think John Cena stays if they do go there?
I think he'll show up. Like, I think they'll just say, "Hey, we'll give you $10 million to come do WrestleMania," right? And it'd be like, okay, okay. And like to them, it's like whatever, right? And who knows? I don't know. It's exciting. I mean, it's crazy, but like at the same time, it could be good. It could be horrible.
It's just wild to me because like wrestling, while I haven't been clearly invested in it in a very long time now, like wrestling is still part of my childhood and one of the main forms of entertainment I had for like the first 15 at least years of my life. And so I never would have thought in a million years that Vince McMahon would ever sell this fucking company to anyone for any amount of money because he's just because I never thought he would, not because I didn't think he'd want the money. I just didn't think the company, I never saw it early when I was like younger. I never saw WWE being small enough or struggling to have enough viewership on TV for Vince to consider selling it to somebody. But we're there. If you look at the number of YouTubers bury fucking weekly WWE shows.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, we're talking like 1 to 7 million people tuning in, which is like a casual Tuesday for thousands of YouTubers that put out 7 videos a week. So like it's not like 7 million people on TV is obviously worth more than YouTube, clearly, but it's not paying like it used to for them, and it's getting harder and harder apparently for them to be able to churn out a product that people are very, very, very interested in. And it's gotten so fucking like, it got bad. Like they used to occasionally have to pipe in audience sounds like cheering and shit like that or whatever, but you'd be watching it at home and the camera wouldn't have cut away to, or like cut into a tighter shot, so you were still seeing like everyone, and then like an entrance theme would play and they'd pipe in like a big pop, like a crowd just going shit like crazy, but the camera's still wide and you're seeing everyone's just sitting there like,
yeah. Oh, it's brutal.
So it's been bad for a while.
But it makes sense. Like, he's obviously I don't. There's a reason why he's coming back, right? Like, obviously he had to leave because there was a lot
too
of
hot.
heat on him,
Yeah.
and the companies were probably like, "Bro, you got to go because like you're gonna sink us." But the fact that he's come back, there's no way in fuck that Vince is coming back to be the CEO of WWE for the next 10 years.
No.
It feels like he's coming back to do something big, that he makes the decision himself, so that it isn't Triple H or Stephanie that's calling the shot to sell, and and it's on them. It's like, hey, I gave birth to this, or I really built this. I'm going to be the one that's going to do it, and people are going to get paid out, and then I think that'll allow him to like sort of rest easy when his hands are tied. Because even though his hands were tied, I think I talked about this before. He's still calling shots behind the scenes. Like Stephanie and Triple H are going to him, and he's saying, no, I want this. It was probably just a formality. It's like, you just got to be the face of it for a little while. And I don't even think Stephanie really wanted to do it anyway, but she just kind of did it. So like, it is what it is. I think selling it is good. It'll be a shame if Saudi does buy it and they completely remove like women's division, but you never know. They might keep the women's division and only allow them to wrestle in the United States. And then when for the big events like WrestleMania, all of those will be held in Saudi. But I still don't know what's going to happen with the women's side of things.
It is a big question mark.
Who knows?
For sure. Who knows?
Yeah,
anyway. Wild times, all in like a span of a couple hours. I do think the most telling part about all this is that Stephanie stepped down the same day that it was announced her father's coming back. It's hard to get a read on what that means in terms of like for her. Why is she doing it? Is she doing it because she's made now and she doesn't need to worry about it anymore? Or is she doing it because she doesn't agree with what her father is doing? Or
might be a little bit of column A and B.
It might be. And I think we'll have to wait and see what the real result is.
If she finds out that like, hey, we're selling to the Saudis and the women's side of wrestling is gone, she's like the pioneer of women's wrestling.
Yeah.
Like she really helped build that thing up to legitimacy. And she's a woman and she's a wrestler and she's a businesswoman and she knows what she's doing. So she's probably, if that's the decision, she's probably not happy with daddy for, doing that. Who knows? I don't know.
This is definitely a wait and see what happens from this point, but interesting all the same.